What's up, my cave dwellers? We checking back in on this one. The two men posing as fake Detroit city workers and sneaking into the elderly couple's house, killing the husband, leaving the wife duct taped upstairs. He was a jewelry business owner. I guess they thought he was gonna have a bunch of $1 million necklaces and $100,000 worth of jewels sitting at his house or a safe or something because they killed him. Police said that there was so much blood on that elderly man they couldn't even determine the cause of death. So at least one of them is arraigned. They so stupid that they didn't even recognize a ring camera and showed their face. Came back twice. One time in the middle of the night, say they were looking for leaks, and I guess they came back. Just speculation. They came back the next following morning and said, "Okay, you guys have a leak in your house." That's what they're saying, basically. So far, but let's check in on them. Watch them all the way till they get put under the jail. I'm gonna keep doing updates on them till they sitting under the jail, man. Let's see.
Tonight with our first look at one of the two men accused of posing as DTE workers and killing a man inside his Rochester Hills home. Today, 39-year-old Joshua Zuazo appeared.
Look at these two fucking. Oh man, they could have overpowered that old man, beat him a little bit. I guess they killed him. Which one of them snapped? Which one of these fucking children couldn't take care of themselves, couldn't hold their emotions?
In court to be formally charged with felony murder.
His alleged accomplice, Carlos Hernandez, is expected to be brought here to Michigan next week after waiving extradition in Louisiana. We want to get to Sean Lay live right now. Sean, we're finally getting some insight into a motive here.
Let's talk about motive. It's in the court documents we got here today at District Court 52-3. Motive, clearly robbery, according to the sheriff and sheriff's investigators. Why the Murray family in Rochester Hills was targeted, that is still under investigation. Why two people went there and what they wanted inside. Again, sheriff's investigators have not been able to answer that question. What is the link here? In the meantime, one of two men, as you say, officially charged. Let's take you inside court.
One of the craziest things you got to do, tap into the mind of idiots. Why? Because they seen he had jewelry and they thought he was coming home with it because he was an elderly man. They probably lived alone. Kids grown up if they had it, they're not there. And they thought they could trick him.
Everybody pitched in. And so now we've had both in custody for days in a horrific murder.
Let me take you inside a Rochester courtroom for our first look at one of the two men sheriff's investigators say posed as DTE workers. One
looking right into the looking right into the ring camera. Nobody's told him, "Hey, let's stop this." And the black guy probably he turned the other way like, "Hey, they catch you, but they ain't gonna catch me, right? Hey, we could do a murder together. They could catch you, but not me." Stupid.
1 week ago, 39-year-old Joshua Zuazo of Dearborn.
Or DTE. We're checking for gas leaks.
A shocking plan to get in.
You can see he the leader, right? The black guy probably gonna snitch on him and say why. He the one went on the run. He the one requested no extradition and all that. So
inside the home of Hussein Murray, who had a jewelry and pawn shop in Hamtramck. Murray's 72-year-old wife was bound with duct tape upstairs. Murray was found bloodied and dead in the basement.
Upon arrival on scene, deputies located her husband deceased in the basement, bound by duct tape around his ankles and wrists and duct tape circling his head several times.
Suspect number one.
Duct tape circling his head several times, so they hit him in the head. They bound his feet and wrist. The 72-year-old man, he was no threat, and they decided to do that. He must have knew him, maybe. Oh no, man. Oh.
Investigators say is Carlos Hernandez, arrested a day later in Louisiana, and we are digging to find out a lot about Joshua Zuazo.
We do show that he has extensive criminal history that dates back 2.5 decades.
We dug up that criminal history, released in 2022 for having a weapon in prison, past convictions for armed robbery, multiple other robberies, felony gun crimes, and fleeing.
In this matter, bond will be denied. It is obvious that these charges are very serious. This court has a concern about the public safety.
Pretty judge.
And this court does have concern about a flight risk.
They already been fleeing. They already showing a flee. His partner fled. He got a history of it. Armed robbery, gun charges, man. They should have threw him under the jail. All these rehabilitation on these crimes.
Right.
Crimes like this where they doing stuff like going to somebody's home, invading somebody's privacy. That should be serious. Like, it's different even if you own somebody on the street and you run into them. But to break into their house armed, that means you had, like, that's your personal space. Like, if somebody break into your house, you probably never gonna feel the same in that house again. You always gonna be on edge. That's like you taking a piece of somebody. Like, that's.
All right, that's just happening here in court. A short time ago, Zuazo pleading not guilty to all 3 charges. He is being held without bond right now. You mentioned Kimberly Hernandez will be brought back by sheriff's investigators sometime next week to face charges right here. In the meantime, we keep asking the sheriff. We just interviewed him a few minutes ago. Anyone else involved here? How far does this go? We're still working on that. We'll have that answer at 6 o'clock.
Sean, before you go, I want to ask you about something. You got to see the witness list that includes Home Depot.
Yo, he said no.
Lowe's and TikTok. Explain.
We got to ask questions about that. Lowe's and Home Depot, apparently these two are on video. Sheriff's investigators found buying things like zip ties, and they say the same zip ties size were found at the scene of the crime. TikTok, the sheriff tells me, a tip. Apparently an important tip came through TikTok, and that's why they have it on the witness list to get that tip in the video.
Interesting. We'll continue to follow it. Sean, we appreciate it.
So that means that they probably ain't know who the black guy was. They probably didn't know who the black guy was, and then all of a sudden they got him. That's crazy. That's crazy. They got him. He thought he was being smart, not being put on the ring, but they got him at Home Depot. And he said no to all of them. I guess he's going to blame it on him. Said he went there for the money, for the robbery, but no, it went that way because the other guy got mad or whatever. But then he got a history of armed robbery and stuff like that. So, but if he ain't got no history of killing nobody, and the other guy got a history of fighting or whatever, then he can blame it on him or he illegal or something. Let me know what y'all think, man. R.I.P. to that man. Living a good life, the American dream. Got a business, got a family, and these men with nothing to live for go and take his life. They're worth nothing. They're not even worth putting in prison, if you ask me. They're non-rehabilitatable. That's a word. Let me know what you think in the comments, Cave Dwellers. Please, man. Oh, man.